DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's AMA. It's lovely to be here as always. Let's find out, Dreamer, how are you doing today?
I'm doing both fine and dandy. How are you, Bolon?
Dandy and fine myself. Glad to have you here with us today. Looking forward to it. Hubert, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. I had yet again since last week as well. It seems like Thursdays are conspiring against me to make me wake up earlier than usual. So I am underslept, but I'm all right. I'm doing good. Thanks.
Understandable. Is that a smoke detector going off, I hear?
Yes, and I'm very annoyed by it because it just started like 20 minutes ago, and I can't go fix it right now.
Nope. You get to listen to it for another hour before you're allowed to deal with it. Have you identified which one it is already?
Yeah, and it's annoying because I put new batteries in it very recently, and I guess one of them batteries must have been defective because
Oh man.
yeah, like I've dealt with the same one like 3 times in this past week.
Winston, how are you doing today? We cannot hear you, Winston. We still cannot hear you, Winston.
How about now?
Now we can hear you,
There
Winston.
we go. Thanks, Bolon. Yeah, I'm good. Hey, Dreamer and Hubert. Hope you guys I heard already that you're good, so glad you guys are doing good. Real quick, people in the chat, when you are watching the stream, does it look weird to you? I usually open a side YouTube video so I can type as myself and not as DeFi Kingdoms in the chat. And when I watch it, it takes up like 15% of the screen, and it's basically that mobile view we were talking about. So I don't know if anyone else is seeing that when they watch the video. If you are, unweird to me. All right, maybe it's just me. I'm special. That's cool.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on YouTube in another tab, and it looks okay.
All right, I'm gonna refresh this. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, StreamYard introduced a new feature, and so we're figuring out how that impacts us.
Yeah, see, a mellow fellow can only see my mouth. Like that's what I see too. I don't really know what's going on there, but it doesn't. There's no way for me to like fix it on the YouTube viewing side of things. So
I pulled it up on mobile, and it definitely looks like that, which is very unfortunate.
well,
not about you specifically, just like in general, it does not look good.
It doesn't look good, and and I don't look good. All right, well, what can you do? I mean, I think people will be able to hear us. You know, that's really the most important thing. We do have a tournament today. Last week I was out of here and I set up a tournament hoping it would run, and realized, yeah, see, Mellow Fellows, he put it in Discord there, but that's what I'm seeing too. Maybe I can let's hold on a sec here. Let me see if I can get a muscly arm instead of my mouth. There's a tournament today, though. You got about 5 minutes or so to hustle over there and vote. The first round is about to begin, and then naturally will be the second round and the final. So hurry over and check that out. No big stories today. I checked out the Aurora Borealis in Utah, and I'm actually gonna a lot better. It is a lot better with the arm. And I'm actually going to hustle up to Wyoming after this for the weekend and try to check it out a little bit more. And like just right out in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming, Christmas Meadows. They do like literally you can go out there and cut down Christmas trees. Like that's what's going on with it. So that's my plan. That tournament's coming up. Make sure you get over there and vote on that. I'm gonna fight somebody. I'm gonna fight San Andres. Hold on, you got me all messed up. I used to be able to say that correctly. Now I can't say it right. Cyan Andrus. And I'm gonna win. I beat him the other day, so I think I could win again. So make sure you vote on those. These ones are pretty lucrative. Terry, hey, quit it, dude. These ones are pretty lucrative. If I recall correctly, the first one's 25, the second is 40, and then 75. I might be transforming into a dog here. Something's happening. That's my stomach, dude. I need to eat something, man. I'm really hungry. Yeah, but hustle over there and vote on those, and stick around and watch those. Hopefully, for those of you that can view them, they look good.
Nice. I do want to take a moment and share an update about Taco Bell's newest menu item. They have introduced the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Pie, and it is a whole pie, and you can only buy it as a whole pie. They do not sell it by the slice. It is very interesting. It is the color of Baja Blast all the way through, which is a little bit concerning from a pie perspective. It is neon teal is not the color that you normally would expect your pies to be. But flavor wise, actually pretty interesting. It's pretty good. It tastes kind of like a key lime pie, but with more lime for the Baja Blast side of things. It's really not a bad flavor profile, but it is unbelievably sweet. Just, oh my God, so sweet. It is very hard to eat very much of it because the sugar is just unbelievable. But, it's one of those things where, if you don't try it, then you'll never know. You can't say that you tried it. So I had to try it.
I'm glad you took that chance for the rest of us.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on that as well. How you say it is unbelievable how much sugar is in it. It is the Taco Bell Baja Blast pie. Like, it's going to be
But it's not even so.
probably 100% sugar, right? 100% sugar. Well, like, okay, 98% sugar and 2% like turquoise.
Well, but it's not the nutritional value of the sugar that appalls me. I expected that, but it just tastes so sweet.
I get what you're saying.
Like it's just when you were eating it, it is overwhelmingly sweet. I don't care about my health. I was fine with intaking all of that sugar into my body. It just the taste was so sweet that I could not keep eating it.
I guess that is what I'm saying. It surprises me that you were surprised that the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Taco Bell pie was so sweet that you couldn't eat it.
But it surprises me that you were surprised, Winston, that Bolon was surprised that it's too sweet, because Bolon, he's just the complainer of anything that's different from his normal routine
That is an excellent
within the Mountain Dew world. And they messed with Baja Blast. That was their mistake, and they were going to get a complaint from Bolon.
I normally love the taste of diabetes, okay? But this time it was a little overpowering.
No, Dreamer, you're right. I was thinking of a regular person, and I should have been thinking of Bolon and what his I should have been thinking of Bolon's nature and how he's going to handle a situation.
To be clear, though, it still wasn't bad. I'm still eating it. I just only can eat one slice at a time.
You're
Like,
still eating it now?
You're rationing
like
it.
4 days ago?
Well, yeah, because I can only eat one slice at a time. It's frozen. It's fine.
I just question, are these like the turtle pies, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies from the 90s that are like the gas station pies? You know what I'm talking about? Or is it like
Talking about? I've seen those.
like a round pie? Like,
No, it's
you know,
like a round pie, yeah.
It looks like a key lime pie, but it's Baja Blast colored.
they should have made them the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like pies. You know what I mean? That would have been way cooler.
Like
I would have been down with that.
hand pie, it's like filled with jelly or something.
Yeah, unhappy with the. I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm not even gonna taste it. They messed up. I'm ready for questions.
I'm gonna steal Winston's screen share here for a second so that we can observe this pie. I don't want notifications for foodandwine.com. Thank you though. But yeah, no, it is a round, like it's a whole pie. And yes, you must buy the whole pie. So I am still eating it. But
It's
yeah,
like
you just
it could be jewelish. Like you could get one and cut it into like a octagon
into an
shape,
octagon.
make it just a little jewel pie. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I might try it. I might have to try that.
Bolon, your comment was related to the AMA. That was the punchline. Good job. I get it. I'm
Do what I
bullish. I'm
can.
more bullish now.
I do what I can. But anyway, moving on from the Taco Bell updates of the day, we do have, as Winston mentioned, this tournament coming up here shortly. But in the meantime, we are going to roll into some questions. Also, Eric, I am sorry that y'all switched to a Whole Foods diet. I would also miss Taco Bell horribly. All right, so let's roll into some questions. Actually, breaking with tradition, this first question I am going to answer. It is asking about the white paper, the docs website, how often it is updated, and it's missing things. A couple of updates currently for like excuse me, Divine Essence. Ragnarok is not mentioned in there yet. So the short answer is you are correct, and that it is a little overdue for some love to the docs. Unfortunately, it's just a matter of time. Dr. Zipper is usually the custodian of the docs, and obviously he is always busy working on something or the other. So he hasn't had as much time as of late. Occasionally, I'll try to help out as well. So it's one of those things that just needs some love. I will say they are open source. So if anybody wants to take a stab at some stuff, you can submit changes. It won't go through like automatically. They do have to be approved. But if somebody wants to take a stab at some stuff, y'all are more than welcome to, and we'll take a look at it. And as long as everything checks out, then great. But yes, definitely do recognize that we need to put some work in on that front as well. It's just a matter of time. Time spent on that is time not spent on something else. Let's see. The second question, I guess I'll kick off, and then Dreamer, if you would like to add to it. But the question essentially is, can we confirm if our intent is to develop the game, sell it to a big game company, abandon Crystalvale and Sarandale with no consideration to earlier investors? I can confirm that is not our plan. We've mentioned like maybe working with big game companies, maybe, either equity stakes or, maybe that we do sell to them. But like, even in that case, we don't just abandon everything that we've built and everybody that we have. Like that's just not how that would work. But Dreamer, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think the asker of the question has heard different updates and put together a version of that message that we didn't intend to ever give. So yeah, since the beginning we've been looking for ways to fund development. For 4 years now, we've done different ways to do that while staying true to the original direction that adjusts with, I guess, the market and as well as the product itself. But there's no like end goal to be like, let's figure out how to sell it and exit, and everything that we've done so far means nothing. No, we've never said that. We don't want that. We all have our interests aligned and want this to be successful. So any third party that were to enter as like a strategic partner or funding partner, they would need to be one that is, progressing towards the same goal that we've had the whole time, rather than just like a scrap it and make it what they want. That wouldn't be something that we're looking for. So, but I don't think this question is worth like dissecting every single different thing that could happen. More just reiterating. In the past, we worked with blockchains to provide builds to them in exchange for a grant that developed funding. That is worked for a time. If we were to try something else in this stage of like an equity investment, that may be with a game studio that could add value to our build. And we would be very cautious to make sure that any potential partner wouldn't take away meaningful value that we've created. But nothing real progressing there in the short term anyway. But it is good that if somebody wondered that they asked so that we could clear it up. And hopefully we have.
Awesome. Thank you, Dreamer. Hubert, first of your questions. I'm so glad that we get to you because that's just, it feels right. Can you speak about why we do not have a trader NPC in the Sunderdials, even if it is using Hercules?
Sure. Yeah, it was really just a matter of resources and time. Like the Hercules Dex is not, it's their own kind of unique build, has its own uh, system of how you do liquidity, how it rewards things, and all that stuff. So it wouldn't be just like a plug and play with our own Dex interface. So we would have had to have built our own around it. And as far as I understand, they didn't provide any like out of the box solutions to like have your own internal widget of their system. So rather than having somebody spend time building their own, we just opted to link to Hercules so you could use their decks that way.
The smoke detector just makes me laugh every time. Sorry.
It's so grating. I'm so irritated by it.
Oh man. Well, it's oh no, I'm gonna, in general, I'm gonna try to distract you with AMA questions, but I actually will take this next one off of your plate, and then we'll go back to you.
Once
But
I know there's a moment, like I could go grab it and pull that battery out, but I need some moments.
I'll try to give you a heads up if I anticipate a break for you of any size, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't. This next question is, would it be possible to allow people to choose what path/tokens they want to search for multi-hops when using the trader? So more like a custom multi-hop kind of setup. With our current router contract, that is not possible. It determines the path based on like efficiency, trying to find the best path. The router is separate from the DEX, so we or someone in the community or whatever the case may be could introduce a new router that does let someone specify. Obviously there would need to be like a UI and everything to go into that as well, so that they could pick kind of each token each step of the way. I'll be honest and say that's probably not something we are going to prioritize in the short term, but for our community devs, if somebody wants to take that on, that is something that is doable. But within our current setup, it is not possible. We would have to do some upgrades. All right, Hubert, it's time for just a slew of questions for you. We'll find out if you decided to run and change your battery or not. But
I didn't.
Any thoughts on introducing a brittle or scathed power up to work against the unscathed power up and increase durability loss?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd really want to work out the interactions between having both scathed and unscathed options and how that would all work. But if we want more durability loss, we can certainly turn it up. I think there are some plans for things that we can do where I was thinking that some additional durability loss would happen, but it's nothing yet. But I don't know that I'd want it to be power up based rather than just like new content or adjusted content based instead.
Gotcha. Very nice. With Ragnarok being our current like top priority, any message or message of hope that you would like to share with the PvE diehards, crafting and chill fans, etc.?
So yeah, I mean, so Ragnarok is our main priority at the moment, and it is another PvP feature. It is one that's going to be different than what we have currently, where you're not using your own heroes. So I think the playing field is going to be much more level because of that. So I think that should be interesting for players, even though it's not necessarily PvE. And it's possible that there could be new equipment and whatnot that would be helpful for PvE that you can get from doing Ragnarok. But I'll say that after Ragnarok, our focus is going to be moving back towards PvE content, as this is kind of like the last kind of big push of like major PvP features, I would say. I think there'll still be updates and different things to tournaments or Ragnarok as time goes forward. But after that is done, the next things I would see us doing is just pushing forward more on the roadmap and on getting more PvP or PvE available. So yeah, I don't know if that really answers the question, but at least kind of explains our current trajectory.
I do think it's also worth noting for those people, if hero building is your thing, Ragnarok presents actually some pretty unique opportunities in that scope of being able to build heroes and then transcend them to be used in Ragnarok. And even with the ongoing Halloween event that is looking for specific heroes and giving the unique stones as a reward for those. I think Ragnarok has some interesting implications outside of the PvP fighters as well. Let's see. I like the idea in chat that every piece of equipment breaks on every successful hit.
That would be fun to track. Like completely breaks, 50 durability damage.
Yep. 50 on a crit, 25 on a non-crit. We'll make it balanced. Any thoughts, Hubert, on introducing a power-up to reduce hero summon cooldowns only for non-Gen 0 heroes?
That's kind of counter to the idea that there was a pretty big push for us to do things to reduce hero inflation. That seems like the opposite direction. So not sure. I think it's doable, but it kind of is counter to what why we did the changes in the first place.
Yeah, I guess the idea would be letting those heroes, like finite amount of summons, kind of act as that, which is not necessarily the same impact, because they keep, yes, it's finite, but it's a lot. It's a lot of heroes.
Yeah, but the secondary and tertiary and beyond
Right.
heroes, like they actually, they can proliferate a lot.
Yeah,
like a lot.
10 out of 10 Gen 1s result in a lot of heroes if you look at every Gen 2 that they summon and every Gen 3 that those summon, and ongoing.
Yeah, it's a lot. The Gen Zeros just start the process. The
Right.
most of it actually comes from beyond that point. So I don't really. I think that's pretty counter to the whole idea that we had in the first place.
Nice. Giving you a very quick break, could we do a UI update in the dashboard, which is referring to the top left area where we show like the various token balances, and being able to customize and pick any item or token to be in that fourth slot. So I'll say, I think the asker of this question was only thinking about Crystal Veil. Sarandale already has 4 slots because that's where the gas token goes. And Sundered Isles actually has 5 slots because the gas token goes in the 4th, and then we have a 5th that shows influence as well. So we already have kind of that area already varies, but I'll say making it custom and like up to the user gets very tricky, and that is the ability to do that is something that's been on our list for a while, because we want to be able to have various customizations where you can like tag heroes and that kind of thing, but that requires an entire off-chain storage solution that we do not currently have or utilize. So making it custom per person gets very, very interesting and difficult in the current state. All right, going back to you, Hubert. Noticed that the new resources from destroying equipment are called common dust and fragments. Will there be different versions in the future?
Yeah, that is the plan, though not for a good while. Basically, the idea is when we start doing level cap increases and start having equipment that is intended for beyond level 20, then different dust would be required for enchanting those, and those equipment would also produce like higher quality versions of dust and fragments. So it is possible that we would include upgrade recipes to let you go from the common versions to the higher versions, but none of that has been like fully decided at this point, and it's going to be a pretty long while before there would be any need for that.
Nice. Do we anticipate the common version being upgradable?
Yeah, so I guess I answered that in what I just said before, but potentially.
Oh, my bad.
I'd say the chances are more than 50-50 that yes, but we'll see.
Sorry, I missed that. For pet combat bonuses, do we anticipate introducing new and additional bonuses in the future?
You don't have enough already?
I
I mean, it's possible, but I think we covered pretty much all of the bases as far as like things that could be improved by the bonuses that were meaningful. So I mean, I guess at this point it'd be like adding new things that are like one-time usable type of things, which maybe, but yeah, not really going to be a priority at this point. So it could be like very far down the road we decide to add more, but yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Nice. Any thoughts on tying eternal pages into the current enchanting system?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Any thoughts on tying eternal pages into the current enchanting system?
Yeah, probably not. Maybe if we had decided to do that before we released it, but now at this point it's all built, so don't really want to make it more complicated.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Any updates on the Christoval Gardens and any thoughts? I know I had shared with you the breakdown of allocations from a Discord community member. Any particular thoughts on those that you want to share? If not, that's fine. But any updates also on just the gardens as a whole?
So yeah, we have been discussing adjustments to the gardens allocations with with us pausing things on Kaya and what that means for DFK Chain. And we did look at that breakdown and have kind of thought of some options that incorporate some aspects of it. But I think what we were kind of going for is a little bit different as well. But yeah, I think with that, we are looking to set up a new governance system since we haven't been able to use snapshot.org for a while. And once that's ready, I think we would be putting up an option or options for voting once that's ready. And we actually have Fox has been working on that recently. So seems like we may be able to pull that off fairly soon, but that's, asterisk. I don't know what fairly soon is. A DFK fairly soon. Could be soon. Could be a little while.
Got you with the banner. There you go. Awesome. And let's see. Will heroes in Ragnarok show who they were burned by?
Potentially, yeah. I think when it's going to be a little bit of extra information. We're not planning to show like the full hero cards when you're picking your heroes and showing more just like a breakdown of like the most pertinent information for using them in combat. So showing who it was that provided the hero is kind of extraneous, but we may be able to fit it in there down at the bottom or something.
Nice. Any thoughts on adding an option to instant level up, basically all the way to the max? You don't have to see the results or really like pick a lot of stats. You just pay the required stones and crystals, so that if you were to dark summon, not get what you're after, and you want to level it and toss it back in the pit, to be able to speed level it, I guess.
So I missed a little bit of that because people were talking about my smoke alarm, and it made me completely lose concentration on what you're saying. I got most of it, I guess, was the question. The first part of that question was just asking about thoughts on like a
Yeah, like if we
power
could
level or speed
introduce
leveling approach.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it has kind of been a plan to have there be like an auto leveling upgrade to the whole system. It was something that was planned since we did expeditions. Just the extra effort to get that done was too much, and we made it like a phase 2 type thing. So it is still kind of on the roadmap at some point to do, and that would is for expedition specifically, but it would be usable beyond that for things such as just I want to level up this 10 times with these as the selections and then just do it. That would preclude you from being able to do any like level re-rolling, or there could potentially be some ways to have it like stop if you didn't get enough stats or something. But all that's kind of complicated and would be a decent chunk of work. So it's not going to be right away, but it is something we do want to do.
Awesome. Which, yeah, I think for those that are just trying to level it up to toss it back in the pit, they won't be too worried about it. All right, let's see. We're going into a combat engine related question here. So switching gears a little bit. Right now, as I understand it, and this the asker, but right now, as I understand it, the poison stack will reset if another poison is inflicted, but bleed, for instance, will stack. What is the reasoning for poison to reset, and would that be something considered for future balance changes to not reset but stack instead?
Sounds like a bug report in the form of an AMA question to me. Yeah, I mean, poison is not intended to reset in terms of like if it is right now, like if a poison gets reinflicted and you were already taking like 5 stacks of stack is not necessarily the right term, but like your poison had upgraded itself 5 times and then it goes back to like the lowest damage instead after getting inflicted, then that's a bug. That shouldn't be happening. It should, like the current iteration is intended to it just gets worse and worse over time as it ticks. And unless it's dealt with, it just gets worse. So
And so what should happen? Like if somebody already has poison on them, they've had it on them for a few stacks growth, or not stacks, but a few percentage of growth, and then poison gets reapplied, what's intended to happen?
at the moment, it just doesn't change anything. It should make it, it just doesn't inflict, or like it will technically inflict, but it's not supposed to change what's happening with the poison. There were thoughts to have it actually increase the tier of poison if you can inflict it again. I think I like that, but for some reason I can't remember anymore. We didn't go down that road. So yeah, but it sounds like the one thing we don't want to have happen is happening. So if anyone has like an actual battle replay where that is happening, that would be helpful for helping track that bug down. So please report that if you have it.
Yeah, for sure. So if anybody sees that happen, please send us a replay or a battle ID. We can try to replicate it, by which I mean Winston can try to replicate it on our end as well. But if you've got examples, they're always helpful. Let's see. Do we have any planned use for All right, so if you picture a hero card, you picture the back. There's a few different pages. This is talking about the hero history back page, which currently shows like if they were summoned with a stone and any like tier bonuses. Do we have any intended use for that, or any ideas on having using that space for like a PvP record, successful and failed hunts, or other stats like that that would give people an idea of that hero's combat prowess?
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I don't think we've considered doing that at all at this point. It would definitely require upgrading what we're doing with our tracking on our API. I think it's doable. I know like one thing I did want to see on there that we haven't been able to do thus far would be a record of like crystals used as well as the stone used, like through level ups. That was something I was hoping to have on there. And just we
Which
haven't.
I think the space they're referring to is actually the space that we had planned to use for that, if I remember
Right.
correctly.
Yeah, like it was planned, and I think we just hadn't had time to finish it. So that was kind of the idea. But yeah, like having a combat history for a hero, I think is an interesting idea. I don't know how much effort it would be to implement that, but I do like it. And in general, we've been trying to add more tracking, kind of in the background on the contracts about like what you're doing. Typically, we don't track it by hero though; we track it by player. Just because by hero gets to a lot of storage usage once you start doing that.
Well, it sounds like somebody's trying to, blame their heroes for their PvP record. I think Winston's alt is the one that submitted this question.
What? Leave me out of this, man. Why are you taking shots at me? I'm just living over here. I'm trying to fix this StreamYard problem, and this is how you repay me?
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we can think about that
that.
though. Let's see if Pinecone can add some tracking to the heroes for combat stuff, and maybe we can figure something out there.
Nice. Any thoughts about creating creating equipment, how that equipment can be obtained can be I guess, a second question, but thoughts on creating equipment that is geared towards gathering professions. So, I mean, similar to pets in many ways, I guess, but include, weapons and armor.
Yeah, that has been a topic of discussion at various points in the past. It certainly complicates the like profession quest code to do that, as currently we don't check equipment and we would have to, and that adds a bunch of gas to do, which currently with the way that all works is generally we're trying to reduce gas costs rather than increase them. So that's one consideration as to why we don't do it. Another is just kind of complexity, especially at the time when we had a cooldown for switching equipment. Didn't make as much sense, but I suppose now we could consider maybe like an accessory that could assist with that. But when it comes down to weapons, we have kind of a specific way that weapons are allowed to be equipped, and either we'd have to add like new types of weapons that anyone can equip, but then you can't go into combat with them. Like it gets pretty complicated with how everything's set up. So generally we found it was just not worth the effort to do, and I still kind of feel that way. But I think there are potentially other things we could do in the future where it's not necessarily actually equipment, or like I said, an accessory could potentially fill that role. But having it be a weapon, I think might be a bit too much.
Nice. Which I will say, to the asker's credit, they did recall the last time this was discussed a mention of gas increasing, and said that they understand that it is a concern, but given that gas fees are pretty low, it could be worthwhile anyway. So I just want to give them credit for remembering that from the last time we talked about it. Let's see. This next question, I'll kick off, but Hubert, you may have things that you want to add as well. They love the dust system, which is great news. But talking about raffles as far as hunts go, are we planning more and or additional raffles with either in-game tokens beyond the current jackpot, community sponsored, blockchain sponsored, whatever the case may be? So I'm going to kind of answer this in reverse order. As far as like blockchain sponsored or partner sponsored in general, that's something that we're always on the lookout for and always talking to people about to see if we can secure a sponsorship for you guys. As far as community sponsored goes, if you are in the community and you want to do a sponsorship, all you got to do is DM me. It's real easy. We're gonna make life simple. So feel free. As far as us adding more raffles beyond the jackpot, I would say a lot of that depends on hunt participation. The goal with the jackpot raffle and any other raffles is that they are self-sufficient. So for every hunt, there's a 10 crystal fee. Of that 10 crystal, 30% goes to the quest fund, which is 3 crystal. So for every hunt, 3 crystal goes into the quest fund. The goal is that any of the in-game token raffles essentially pay for themselves, right? They are self-sufficient. So it depends on the number of hunts and the number of retries as to what that quantity of crystal is. So, I would say it's definitely something that can be considered, but we also would need the, hunts numbers to back it up to be self-sustainable. Hubert, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that was pretty well said. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I know. I guess shout out to the Honk crew for their very long sponsorships. So they've done, I think, 2 different ones, maybe even a 3, if I recall. And that's been really great to see. So yeah, we definitely appreciate anytime the community does something like that, and hopefully we'll see more of those. But yeah, for the ones that we do, I think you said it pretty well. Like it depends on the amount of hunts that are happening and whatnot.
Winston, I see your camera's on.
Yeah, it's way on, dude. Thank you. Sorry to butt in on you.
Not at all.
I've discovered the issue with StreamYard. It looks like in their new update, you need a paid YouTube. You have to have some kind of paid YouTube plan. And if you don't, they create 2 destinations on YouTube, a mobile and a desktop version. So if you look at our chat, you can see that some people have a little phone next to them and some people don't. So I put the link to the desktop one in Discord, and that is pinned. If anyone wants to, it's not pinned. I'm a liar. It's pinned now. If anyone wants to change from that, or if you like mobile, stay on mobile. You'll be good. You'll be good. So yeah, we'll have to look into that paid plan thing. Or, I don't know. Maybe it's just a setting you can change and say, because I think we would rather just have desktop.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I will say I think there's a couple ways we can solve it anyway. Option 1 is we make 2 destinations, and one of them is set up for landscape and the other one's for portrait. But when I picked destinations today for the first time ever, it was like, what orientation do you want? And I was like, I don't know, normal. And so StreamYard actually recommended for YouTube that I include both options. But evidently StreamYard assumes that we have this extra thing from YouTube that we don't actually have. So yeah, we'll be able to solve that.
No, and I see why you made that mistake. I mean, do you want to just do one, or do you want to do everything?
Right.
I'll just do everything. That makes
More
a
is
lot more
better
sense to me. We're keeping secrets from you.
So yeah, this should be a one-time issue. We'll be back to normal next week. And for those of our viewers who don't have this problem, you don't care anyway. But yeah, we should be good. And thank you, Winston, for looking into that for me. I do appreciate it. All right, let's see. Hubert, back to you. Question wise. Have we considered giving Gen Zeros additional utility, specifically having the option that using that same summon cooldown that they already have, instead of being able to summon a new hero, you would pair two Gen Zeros together, or whatever the case may be, and you would have the option to get some kind of special item. What that item is could be, a whole slew of different things. One of the ideas that they mentioned in their question was like a unique stone that offers a bonus between two attributes. So it would be similar to like a greater atone or a greater stone, but not exactly the same. So something like that, where essentially you have an alternative to creating another hero.
That's an interesting idea. I think we always have concerns about, item inflation, the quality of the item versus the other things that exist and how often they get minted. So I think if we were to do something like that, there would need to be quite a bit of analysis behind it, especially if it's just like counting as a summon to do it. That not all summons are created equal. Like if it's a brand new Gen Zero, then they could do quite a few of those very quickly. I guess it would need to be two different Gen Zeros, but if they're like new, or we introduce a new set of classes and allow like Gen Zero re-rolling and let them reset their summons again, that could lead to a bunch of inflation of that item potentially. So I guess it sounds like an interesting idea. It also sounds like potentially a lot of work to do, which we are averse to adding a lot of work to our plates with what we already have right now. So kind of my standard, yeah, maybe in the future we can consider it kind of answers.
That is everybody's favorite answer. Awesome. Let's see. I am going to switch gears for a moment, actually, and I am going to switch over to Dreamer. Question for you, Dreamer, if you are ready. Sorry, I really like the way this question starts out, so I'm just going to read it as is. Does Dreamer lose sleep about the Kingdom Studios treasury? And can you speak to the treasury and the ability to maintain Crystal Vale as we work on Ragnarok and other items?
Is that a yes or no question? If so, yes. Always has. But yeah, currently we're on extremely like minimal burn mode currently. I think I mentioned before, all of our devs that are contributing to the project on like the core team are doing so without getting paid. That there are still ongoing costs of running the chain and pulling the APIs and supporting all the read and writes and validators and everything. And we still have not, I believe our bots have still not been selling our treasury. So our treasury isn't really like active and engaged. We have, in terms of like, game generate revenue in game tokens, sell tokens to stables to pay for things. We've budgeted out X amount from things from the past to support operational expenses. And the more people play the game in the current time period, the more like profitable it is. It beefs up the potential to then sell things and pay for expenses. But yeah, the question around treasury is always a moving target. It's how much are we able to bring in? How much are we able to monetize to actually spend versus what we're spending on, and development and community management and biz dev and all these things. It's more of we're in passion project mode, hoping to get to bridge to the next kind of influx of capital, in whatever way that or shape or form that may come. But yeah, all the decisions that you're seeing us make are going towards the how do we preserve like where majority of gameplay is happening, Crystal Vale, and how do we reduce expenses related to that and other things. And yeah, that's what's keeping me up at night. But it's less so about like just how much treasury is there and when it's going to go away, and more so about how do we limit costs to adjust? How do we look for new opportunities? Everything that is costing us, are there things that we could remove that wouldn't be disruptive to game players' experience to the most part? And that's what's going into a lot of the decisions that you're seeing us talk about here.
Awesome. Thank you, Dreamer. And yeah, just, as a reminder, we talked a little bit about that last week as well. That's largely the concept behind temporarily closing Sarandale, but also looking at DFK Chain and the costs to run it and what we can do there, and potentially making some adjustments to DFK Chain gas and that kind of thing as well. Hubert, if you want to add anything to that, feel free, but I'll go ahead and ask you the next question as well. Any thoughts on showing potential, like the probability of summoning results at the portal?
I think that would be nice if we had it. I'll say that. I don't know if we can, we could certainly put that on somebody's list, but I don't know if we can have that be a priority at the moment. But I do like the idea of, I know there are a lot of third-party tools out there that you can use, and for those that are aware of them, I'm sure that they do use them, and they're very effective at telling you all of the chances of everything. Incorporating that in game just is going to be work for probably like a Zipper or Typical to do, and yeah, I'm just not sure that we have bandwidth for that at the moment, but maybe there's something we can do to like make it at least a little bit more accessible so people can have access to those third-party tools more easily. That could be maybe a faster solution.
Yeah, I was going to add to that anyway, that we've talked a couple of times in recent weeks about finding ways to like highlight third-party tools in game in the places that it makes sense for them to be shown in the game, and that's still going to take some time and some effort, and some we got to figure out which tools, figure out where, and somebody's got to do it all. So like it's not that it's just done, but outside of that, that's a very good candidate for that. There's a couple of tools that show summon results at the very least. Zealous's does on his. ADFK has one as well that does. So even that could be a very good candidate for that exact situation. All right, Hubert, one last question, and then we're going to go into our wrap up for the day. Any thoughts on bringing back duels, but as tournaments that are community created, community run? So basically they would run similar to how like our PvP tournaments run in terms of like making the bracket and everything, but then they would just kind of autoplay the duels because it can autoplay the duels. Any thoughts on that idea?
Sounds kind of interesting, but also sounds like a pretty decent lift to actually implement that, since our tournament system it's kind of geared to work with our executor and like having combat kind of happen in a lot of ways. With duels, it's also kind of geared to do a whole bunch of duels all at once and then just report the results. So we have to kind of spend some time to try to link the two so that it happens more as a sequence of things. So that would be a decent chunk of work. It's an interesting idea though. Just I'm not sure that it would be worth prioritizing. But we'll see. I think that could go on the list of things to potentially do in the future.
Nice. Thank you, Hubert. Very much appreciated. With that, we will go into our wrap up for the day, and of course, be back next week. Same bat time, same bat place. Thank you, everybody, for being here, joining us live. Thank you to everybody who will be watching or listening to this recording later. As always, appreciate you, Winston, Hubert, and Dreamer, for taking the time out of your day to come up here and answer all of these questions for us. Special shout out to those who ask questions for us to answer, because otherwise we just ramble about Taco Bell for an hour. So as always, you can submit your questions in the AMA questions channel in Discord. Keep them coming. I know there's some questions that we didn't get to yet. We are working our way through the list, but keep them coming, keep adding them to that list, and we will keep answering them. With that, though, greatly appreciate all of you. Always a pleasure to be here. Winston, you want to give us an update on this tournament and any final thoughts?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. Right now we've got Swag, and my friendo. Neither of their in-game names match their Discord names, but that's just easier sometimes. They're going at it here. It looks like my friendo might be out ahead just a little bit. It looks like he's just kind of in better position, HP and mana point wise. I struggled in that first game. It was tough. My Berserker hit my team twice, which is, it's 1 in 10, but so it's unlucky, but also, it happens. And Synanders played really good. He was rolling, so he did really well. Unfortunately, he was not able to beat. I think it was a swag that he went up against next. So too bad. Now these two were duking it out for that Abyssal Tunic. And any last thoughts? Let's see. Thanks to everybody who's been playing with us. Like these tournaments. These hosted tournaments have been pretty fun the last couple weeks, and we'll plan to keep doing those. And thanks for hanging out, and thanks for listening to us. I'm fired back over to you, Bolon.
Thank you. Hubert, any final thoughts?
Just always echoing the thanks to you guys in the community for all of your support. From the beginning to now, it's a lot of effort to build this game. We're building something very unique that runs on the blockchain and uses blockchain assets in ways that I don't think you can find really anywhere else. We're always trying to push the boundaries there, which we did, I think, again with our durability release and pet release, pet combat bonus release. So we're still just pushing forward and trying to make this as best a product as we can. So your support is very, very much appreciated, and really looking forward to what we can do in the future.
Awesome. Dreamer, last up, any final thoughts? And we're gonna have you give us the sign off.
I'm giving the sign off. Man, my thought has just been on that weird pie this whole time. All the questions go back to the pie thing. No, but I did make like a mental observation through the AMA. Seeing, I know we compare ourselves a lot to what's happening in the world, but everybody in the chat, everybody that has been playing, especially since our last like mega release, and has been delving into all the different features and nuances and how things have changed and how the questions and the AMA have changed. Just a big thank you to you. I think it is apparent that we have a true community who loves the actual game, and they're not just here for some like short-term reason. We've seen people come and go for opportunities on the DeFi side, or like to try to play to earn or other things. And there are folks that are here because they're passionate about the team. Even with updates that we've had to express, like, all right, we don't know what's happening on Kaya. We don't want to waste money over there while supporting it. Let's put it on hold. You're supporting that. You understand it. And people continuing to play all the different phases from build, launch until now, and have their favorites. It makes me happy to see that this is a true community. I don't think there's a lot of true communities in crypto, especially in blockchain gaming, that weather the storms and just get really excited when new things are there to play. The goal is to make a fun to play experience that is easily accessible to new and returning players, but also deep for those that are existing. That is different meaningfully from like Web 2 game, like sister game equivalents. And I think we're doing a good job at that. It's tough, and it's hard to know what thing will kind of pay for itself once built. What is a nice to have that we have to get funded elsewhere, and how do we continue to find funding while the game itself, current player base and current cost, isn't fully like paying for itself. They're hard problems, and they're problems that do keep us up, but also keep us motivated and working together. and trying to create and build on top of what we already have. So all of that comes from the verbal support, the actual actions of playing the game support, and any other creative solutions that come through questions or community building or elsewhere. So shout out to everybody involved. We're keeping it rolling and doing our best, and we'll continue to do so. And with that, I have been and will continue to remain super bullish.
Bullish.
Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.